Is the world's tallest coaster closing forever?
Today, ride the tallest, fastest roller coaster on Earth, because Kingda Ka is now open.
Kingda Ka opened in 2005 as the world's tallest and fastest coaster and still holds the record for the world's tallest coaster today, almost 20 years later. This coaster has been a maintenance nightmare for the park, and with everything going on with Top Thrill Dragster, will Kingda Ka be closing forever? Can we see the two only Strata coasters in the world close down? If Kingda Ka does close down, what could replace it, and would anyone attempt to build a new world's tallest coaster? This past summer, an accident happened on Top Thrill Dragster where a woman was severely injured after a piece flew off the ride and at her. Since then, Top Thrill Dragster hasn't reopened, and Cedar Point has announced the coaster will be closed for the entire 2022 season. Cedar Point could definitely reopen this ride with new safety precautions to prevent something like this from happening ever again. However, Cedar Point decided not to reopen it, at least for the 2022 season. Why is that? Why would Cedar Point not be rushing to reopen one of the most popular coasters at their park? Why would Cedar Point leave Top Thrill Dragster closed for the entire 2022 season? Many have been speculating and saying Cedar Point will remove Top Thrill Dragster, but if they want to remove it, why not announce its removal now? That led others to think the Top Thrill Dragster will only be closed temporarily and will reopen in 2023. But if Cedar Point plans to reopen the ride, why not open it now? Why would they want to have this ride closed for the entire 2022 season, especially right after they removed Wicked Twister recently? You see, the truth is, I don't think Cedar Point really knows what they want to do yet. If I had to guess, I'd say from an operations standpoint, Cedar Point would much rather remove this coaster, but removing such an iconic, huge thrill machine would definitely hurt the park. By announcing it won't reopen for the 2022 season, Cedar Point is kinda testing the waters to see what people's reactions would be if they remove this coaster permanently. I do think there's a solid chance this coaster does end up reopening, and that's really what I want, since this is the only coaster that goes this fast and this high with lap bars. But I think there's a higher chance this coaster gets removed, and maybe I'll make a video on what I think Cedar Point could replace it with and what effects I think it'll have on the park and on the industry as a whole. So subscribe to the channel, it would really mean the world to me. Anyway, another reason Cedar Point could be closing this down for 2022 is if they want to remove the coaster but want to soften the blow by announcing a new coaster to open along with it. That is a very solid possibility, and if Top Thrill Dragster gets removed, you bet they're gonna replace it with something awesome. I could talk all day about Top Thrill Dragster and Cedar Point, but that's not what this video is about. The main thing is now with Top Thrill Dragster's future in question. What does this mean for Kingda Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure? Kingda Ka is a very similar ride to Top Thrill Dragster, having an additional few feet of track and height, going a few miles an hour faster, and it has an airtime hill as well. Kingda Ka also has its fair share of issues, and though it may be running now, what's to say nothing will happen to this ride in the future? If Cedar Point removes Top Thrill Dragster, which sadly it looks like there's a good chance they will, would Six Flags Great Adventure remove Kingda Ka? I don't think Six Flags would want to remove the world's tallest coaster from one of their parks, especially if it's still running fine, but there still is a small possibility they consider it. It's definitely possible Six Flags will decide to remove this ride in the next few years, but I doubt it. Kingda Ka still remains the tallest coaster in the world, and removing it would mean Magic Mountain Superman will become the world's tallest coaster. That's when I realized that the only realistic way I could see this coaster get removed is if Six Flags Great Adventure builds a taller roller coaster first. If that were the case, removing Kingda Ka wouldn't be as big of a deal, and it would make sense from the park's perspective since Kingda Ka has so many issues.
128, 3.5, 456, 0. 128, 3.5. Memorize these answers, because once you ride Kingda Ka, the tallest, fastest roller coaster on Earth, who knows what you'll remember? 28. How fast did it go? 128 miles per hour. How many seconds to get to full speed? 3.5. How many feet in the air did you fly? 456. How many coasters in the world are like it? 0.
If somehow Top Thrill Dragster and Kingda Ka did close down before a taller coaster is built, what could Great Adventure replace Kingda Ka with, and who could build the new world's tallest coaster? For Cedar Fair, it would be really easy to build the world's tallest coaster. All they'd have to do is build a 370-foot B&M Giga, which would be 3 feet taller than Red Force. Cedar Fair doesn't consider Magic Mountain Superman as a coaster, and we know from 2000 when they marketed Millennium Force as the world's tallest coaster, despite the fact that Superman was already open, standing at 415 feet. We've already seen rumors of a Knott's Berry Farm Giga Coaster that would have a 349-foot drop. So if Cedar Fair really wanted, they could replace Top Thrill Dragster with what would be, according to them, the world's tallest coaster in the form of a B&M Giga Coaster. They could even name it Roller Coaster 370. Cause, you know, that's what they like to do. Check out Theme Park Predictions video on a potential Top Thrill Dragster replacement. He has a whole detailed plan on how Cedar Point could fit a B&M Giga in Top Thrill Dragster's plot of land. For Six Flags though, building the world's tallest coaster is a little trickier. I absolutely don't think Kingda Ka is going anywhere anytime soon, especially with Zumanjaro attached to it. But if it did get removed, what could Six Flags replace it with? Could we see Six Flags Great Adventures build an RMC T-Rex that opens as the tallest coaster in the world? Then there's also the question of how Intamin will be affected by this. If Top Thrill Dragster gets removed, that is a huge blow to Intamin. The fact that one of the largest and most expensive coasters they've ever built could get removed after having a tragic accident definitely won't help Intamin. Intamin has already had a really bad year with problems on many of the major coasters. Skyrush, El Toro, and Top Thrill Dragster were all closed for a significant portion of the year, and they're all some of the best thrill machines at their parks and in the world. Somehow this video turned into talking about Top Thrill Dragster, but Top Thrill Dragster closing would definitely hurt Intamin. I have a whole video on Intamin's future where I go more into depth on this, so I'll link it here and you're definitely gonna wanna watch it.